Let's talk about the games happened on Sunday, March 2nd. We only have 5 games. The Atlanta Hawks lost to the Brooklyn Nets, and this game, they're actually Nets and Hawks. They're 10th and 11th in the East. Don't think the Nets can catch the Hawks, but well, now that Trae Young is out, we have 20 games to catch up three. It's possible, right? But it just could just be they lose the first game and then out of the playing tournament. Jalen Johnson, 3 for 12, 7 points. Not the best game. The Hawks didn't shoot the ball well at all, 42%. Bogdanovich, we thought with Trae Young out, he's going to eat pretty good. That's not been the case so far. Just 13 points, just really struggled again. Devontae Murray's assist is being insane, as we all know, as we all expect with no Trae Young. 11 assists and 2 steals and a block. Overall, not a bad game from fantasy perspective. Clint Capella got a few extra minutes. Had 10 rebounds and a steal, but nothing else. Capella, in the last month, I know he was being in and out. He's a 178th ranked player. So in the playoffs, really, like if there's not a big man, for example, what's his name on the Charlotte Hornets? Nick Richards is out there on the waiver wire. You obviously take him over Clint Capella all day at this moment. Even with Okongwu out, he doesn't get full 35 minutes. Also, I know he's coming back from an injury, but the minutes has been limited all season, right? So it doesn't have that upside. Sadiq Bey, he's just a streamer who played well here. And then for the Brooklyn Nets, Dennis Schroeder, I talk about dropping him, but this game, 8 assists, 14 points and 2 blocks, and 3 threes. That's not bad. So roster him just to see how things go. But Ben Simmons is gonna be back in the mix. He's not gonna play every game, but what happens then? He's gonna start. Shooter comes off the bench, plays 25 minutes. Mikal Bridges finally a big game. 38 points with 5 threes, 2 steals and a block versus the Atlanta Hawks defense. He just doesn't get a lot of rebounding and assist, right? Given how many minutes he plays. Good scoring, good defensive stats. Okay. Claxton, big game as well. 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals and 2 blocks. That's to be expected, to be honest. When you play the Atlanta Hawks. Dorian Finney-Smith also, the minutes is pretty good. And Cameron Johnson had 4 threes and 22 points. All the Nets guys play well. And you don't see that very often. Usually they get destroyed. The next one is the Jazz and the Heat. The Jazz, they're in rebuilding mode and they're playing Keontae George 43 minutes. So he's a must roster at the moment. He's not going to go off like this, 31 points every game, 31 points with 6 threes. But the bigger thing, I think, is can he get the defensive stats? We know he's going to get points, get threes, and assists. Can he get defensive stats? He's a must roster at this point, right? He's starting getting the minutes. Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson was also out here. So maybe that's why Keontae got a few extra minutes. And they're not playing Kristaps at all. He did commit 4 fouls in 10 minutes, Kristaps. So maybe that explains the extra minutes by Keontae George because they don't really have another guard today with Clarkson out. Colin Sexton played okay, but there was a stretch. Sexton and Clarkson were doing really, really well, and the Utah Jazz was winning. But I think now they start Taylor Hendricks and Keontae George. They traded away a couple other guys. They basically are trying to tank the season. Lauri Markkanen played 41 minutes as well. Good game from him. He's been struggling quite a bit, to be honest. Collins also had a decent game because they put up 120 points. That's not very Miami Heat-like. They score 126 points themselves. And Walker Kessler is out. Walker Kessler is very, very disappointing this year. But overall, last month he's 48th ranked player. Why? Because he's averaging 2.7 blocks and 61% from the field goal. But there's really not much else. So overall, he still does okay. It's just maybe our expectation. There's always a chance that he doesn't play 35 minutes. If he plays 35 minutes a night, for sure, he's locked in per game basis, top 20, top 25, to be honest. Yeah. But the reason he drafted kind of low is there's just a lot of uncertainty, right? And can he stay healthy is another Well, for the Heat, Terry Rozier played okay. 8 assists is great, and the steal, 14 points. Duncan Robinson, roster him until Tyler Hero comes back. The minutes is great. 6 assists, two threes, a steal and a block, and 5 rebounds. Bam Adebayo, 7 rebounds, 23 points, so empty, no defensive stats. And they keep starting Nikola Jovic. He doesn't get the full minutes. JJJ does. JJJ gets more minutes. But all these guys, like, unless they have a back-to-back, I really wouldn't stream any of these guys. Because from game-to-game basis, one guy comes back, he doesn't get the minutes. So there's a lot of just uncertainty with their minutes and usage too. Jimmy Butler, great. He's been under the radar a little bit since coming back. He's a 10th ranked player in the last month, averaging 2.3 steals. That's the Jimmy Butler we know, and he didn't even shoot that well from the free throw line, 77%. But he just gets hurt way too often, right? And I think he just doesn't at this point doesn't try as hard in the regular season. Because what would the coach supposed to tell the team? It doesn't matter the seeding. We made it to the NBA Finals as the 8th seed. So they all believe. So it doesn't really matter what their seeds are. But right now they are the 7th seed, just like last year. But to be honest, they could be the 4th seed by the end of the season. There are 20 games left, right? They only 1.5 games. 4th seed right now is the Knicks, and their 4th and 8th seed are separated by 1.5 games. So the battle is gonna coming down to the wire as well. Moving on to the next one, the two bad teams went to overtime. Portland and the Grizzlies. Finally, Fernie Simon had a great one. He played 45 minutes too. 4 threes. Hopefully, doesn't get hurt the next game. 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 30 points, but just no defensive stats. Chris Murray, he's interesting. He gets 38 minutes. Does that make him at least a streaming option? I think it does. Diop, Reith. With DeAndre Ayton out, I think we have to roster him. There's going to be variance. 6 rebounds and 3 blocks is okay, and he only played 24. And Jeremy Grant got hurt. This is the problem. He might be out for a while, just because they're on a bad team. There's no really incentive rushing him back. Let's see, but nobody really benefits, to be honest. Maybe Toumani Camara, but he's not a great fantasy player. Matisse Thybulle played just 19 minutes here with 2 steals. His minutes is up and down. We could still roster him. Like next game, he could play 30 and go off. So I'm okay holding on to him. For the Grizzlies, some of these guys finally got some big minutes. Jordan Goodwin right now is a must roster. No questions asked. And Luke Kennard came back actually. And I know John Conchar now comes off the bench. Jordan Goodwin, I don't know how much longer the run is going to have, but this week, Jordan Goodwin has been really good. 8 assists with 3 steals and a block. He's not going to give you a lot of points, but assists, defensive stats, he's going to give you those. But next game very well could just get no minutes, but for now, you got to roster him and see how things go. Zion Williams. Didn't really do much, even though the minutes was great. Santi Aldama had a big game offensively, 21 points. And they started Lamar Stevens at the center. I don't think he's a known center. There's a lot of weird things. Vince Williams finally has a great one. 21 points. This is what he can do in fantasy. Do everything. 4 threes, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. He's a must roster. But again, next game he could just not do anything and play 20 minutes because they get blown out or they score 80 points as a team. Moving on to the next one, the Denver Nuggets beat the Lakers 124-114. This is a big night. Well, LeBron hit his 40,000 points, but of course, Denver's gonna win. Denver's got to win just to Jokic had a big one, 35 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and a block. Jamal Murray 24 points and 11 assists. The big two played really, really well. And without KCP, Christian Braun started. Had a steal and 2 blocks, but he doesn't really get too many defensive stats. So with KCP out, I think he's going to get some extra minutes. Well, actually, Justin Holiday get more minutes. Justin Holiday, we know what we're going to get out of him. You need threes, you need steals. Go stream this guy. Wow, Michael Porter Jr. went 10 for 10. Crazy stuff. The Denver Nuggets shot 58%, while Lakers shot 53% themselves. But Michael Porter Jr. just had a crazy efficient game. Did not miss a shot, 5 for 5 from 3, 25 points, a steal on the block, and 10 rebounds. Crazy stuff. Just how efficient this offense is for Denver. Well, LeBron and AD did their part. They both played. Well, AD didn't play that well. Only 17 points and 3 blocks. Minus 11. LeBron played well again, 26 points with 9 assists and 3 steals. Rui Hachimura has been really good. He's been getting a lot of minutes. But in fantasy, again, he offers very little, only a few categories. But if you're looking for a field goal, you're looking for points, you could have him. And sometimes a little bit rebounds. But I don't think he grabbed that many rebounds on the Lakers. Austin Reeves played well with 14 assists. That really stands out, and 3 threes. D'Lo played very, very mediocre, but did have 17 points and 2 threes. Moving on to the next one. Well, this is a great win for the Rockets, beat the Suns. And how about Jalen Green? 34 points, 6 threes, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. This is why, you roster this guy, so every 5 games he does this. Again, if you need points and threes, go grab him. Oh, and then the news came out that Tara Eason is out for the season. So I think that probably helps him. Jalen Green just a tiny bit. He's still going to get benched sometimes. There'll be situations. But it's really about what else can he do. We know he's going to score. We know he's going to hit threes. But can he improve his efficiency, lower turnovers, and get defensive stats? And get assists too. And Bruce Sengun also a big one. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals and a block. Jabari Smith, only 5 rebounds here, but it remains to be a must roster. And Amen Thompson, he's still getting minutes. 21 minutes. If you need defensive stats, he's a guy. If they got a great schedule, right, I would stream Amen Thompson. 4 steals here, and Dylan Brooks with 2 steals. Yeah, the Rockets played really well here. And then the Suns, not so much. They got their big 3 back. But what is up with Bradley Beal? Played 20 minutes. I'm starting to think in the playoffs, he's not a must roster. Especially if he gets hurt again. Like, you should be quick to drop him as we get to if we're in the playoffs. Because you look at his stats, what does he really offer? Sure, he scores 18 points. But if you need points, he only played 3 games. If you stream that spot, you can get 5 or 6 guys out of that spot. You're going to get more points. Let's assume you have enough acquisitions. A bunch of other factors, but he doesn't really give you any category. There's not one category you look at, okay. He's top 10 in the league in that category now. So, yeah, and also he's hurt. Speaking of hurt, Devin Booker got hurt, so maybe Beal next game could have a higher usage and minutes. Hopefully it's not too serious for Devin Booker. Royce O'Neal, speaking of him, he's been amazing lately. 10 rebounds, a steal and block, sure, we could stream him. Yusuf Nurkic only played 17 minutes. He did enough in 17, but the arrival of Royce O'Neal, they can just go completely small, impact him a little bit, impact Yusuf Nurkic's minutes a little bit, which is surprising. Grayson Allen goes 0 for 6 from 3. Again, if you need a 3-point shooter, if you need to stream threes, you could still have Grayson Allen. He still played huge minutes. Just a really bad game of minus 19 here. That's it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.